What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. Good morning. Happy Friday. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am so grateful to be here with you. Love and look forward to our Friday sessions over here. I hope it's a great one. We're going to go ahead and be taking a look all across the markets. We're going to be making sure that we are completely clear and situated. We're going to be looking at what we should be looking at next. How do you like that? Not on Bitcoin, over on the US dollar. We're going to take a focus on what's going on with the dollar, what could be next. We're going to focus in on gold over here. We're going to do all of that, make sure everyone is crystal clear. We'll have a lot of fun with Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at some, remember Will's beautiful commodity index chart over here. Will was working last night. He's giving us a conquering the market style log chart over here with targets that we're going to look at over here. We're going to look at the suggested R-Hold'll ratio from looking to Bitcoin.com, where we got the pi cycle indicator. We're going to have a good time doing it all. And that being said, at the end of the session, I'm going to be checking out one of my closest friends of life, the one who did our intro, the Conquering the Markets intro, right? We're all familiar with it over here. Let me get the system. Boom. Let me get it. He's gone ahead and he's created a track that I want to share with you all for the group. We're going to be watching that at the very end. But right now, let's get into what we got going on the markets. Screen's blurry. Look, if your screen's blurry, go ahead and on the bottom right where you have the little gear, the settings on YouTube video, you change your setting to whatever is best for you. All right. So boom, 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 boom. All right, let's get to it. Let's get going over here. Thanks for smashing the like button, Troy. Thanks for blowing this up. I forgot to mention probably the most important part of the session. After we take a look at the markets, get our bearings, look at what's coming next, we're going to do, as we always do, just follow the flow with the Ask Me Anything. And we're just going to hang out together, as we do on a Friday. Did I see? Yeah, like South Bronx, South Brooklyn. Yeah, that's something we could talk about later on. All right. That's perfect for that. Let's get going over here. Let's take a look at what's going on. We're going to start with what? The big, come on. Bitcoin's trading at 41,000 this morning. Beautiful to watch, beautiful to see, right? That being said, let's take a look at what's going on. Non-farm payroll, big miss this morning, right? That was expected. Markets like that, huh? Interesting, right? Right? So that's what's happening. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Let me just get a feel for the indexes. And then we'll get going over here. We're going to find a flow now. I'm going to just move the comments off so I can just focus in on the charts over here. We're going to come very much back to all the comments later as we open it up and we just start our discussion. But right now, S&P 500, what else to say? It's trading right off new all-time highs. Is there anything to lean into or look to? Not right now. Nothing has changed on that. This is quite interesting over here. The Nasdaq, some of you, not me at all. Some of you were talking about, leaning in, buying that dip over there. Nasdaq now at new all-time highs over here. Broke that trend line that we were stalking and watching over there. No entry for me at all. Equities remain the same. Really unattractive. Obviously, you all know what I am looking at in 2021. Unless we start getting any type of technical breakdowns, I am looking for this continued liquidity pump. That's what we're seeing. Everyone else who's been screaming since April and May and June that we're going to test the lows, yada, yada, yada. It's all about liquidity. So Russell also new all-time highs peaking out over here. Is that a healthy move over here? People get into trouble when they're like, this time is different. It's going to happen at the top of the Bitcoin bull market cycle. Everyone's going to be screaming, this time it's different. We are entering a super cycle, and maybe that's correct. Whatever percentage I believe at that time that it could possibly happen, maybe I'll hold on to that much of Bitcoin. If I think it's 5-7%, maybe I'll hold that much Bitcoin. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll hold all my Bitcoin. Maybe I'll just say, you know what? Capital gains is now 40%. You know what? I'd rather maybe hold for another 4 years, believing that maybe it'll go back down, towards 15, 20%, depending on where you're at. So either which way, I don't even know what's going on or what we're talking about, what I'm talking about. How do you like them apples? The DXY, let's talk about gold first before I talk about the dollar. Well, it's kind of together. You see the dollar kind of selling off a little bit. I've said I think all of this noise is noise, right? I've talked about on Monday's upload in the afternoon, the DXY, what we're looking at over here with this massive channel, the breakdown of the channel, how we're targeting this line of hope down over here at 88.40, right? And depending on what happens there, that's a big deal. Is it possible we hold there and then maybe in this no man, let me zoom in. Maybe we hold over here and then maybe, consolidate in this no man's land for a while. Yeah, maybe. If we break there, then at that point we're looking at a pretty big devaluation of the dollar coming up. Now, what could cause that? Obviously we all are aware of what's going on over here as the Fed continues their massive monthly purchases. But there's talk of tapering. There's talk of tapering, right? Is that coming from the Fed itself, or is that coming from our beloved investment banks who are always looking out for us, right? They're always looking out for us, for sure, right? Who's that talk coming from? They're saying possibly as early as June, the Fed will begin talking about tapering. Because of that, you're seeing this. You're seeing the 10-year rise over here. Now, this is also, the 10 years also rising over here. Why? Because we're talking about now, as we had that clean blue sweep, massive amount of stimulus coming. That's going to mean massive amount of more government debt. And that means what? Interest rates are going to have to rise. Or are they? Now, I am under, Jordan is under, that QE is massively deflationary here for yields. I truly believe that, right? So what's going to happen here? Listen, I am under the impression that right now this is all noise. This is going to be offering up an opportunity here, right? For whatever I don't know where the resistance is going to be. Is it here now? Is it up higher? Let me look at a bigger chart over here, by the way, just to get a little bit of clarity. We got big resistance all the way up here at 146. Are we going that high right now? Is this right now possibly an ascending wedge that's forming over here? You know what? I don't know, but what I do believe is that what we're looking at here is not signal. This was not the bottom over here. This is just noise over here. This is offering an opportunity, a selling opportunity. I believe that, but in the meantime, it is putting pressure on gold. Let's take a look at that over here really quick. Boom, boom, boom. Here's gold. I think that anyone who took this trade over here, this first entry right over here, and it was a good one, should have gotten stopped out here this morning, right? Should have gotten stopped out. You can see the support held over here so far, but you got to take your stop loss. It's of Uber's not the right word here. It's of paramount importance over here, always to be able to take your stop losses. If you don't take your stop losses, you have no chance in this game. And you should be able to take stop losses 50% of the time and still make money in the markets. But if you're holding on to trades that you shouldn't be holding on to, you have no chance of making it whatsoever. This is nothing more than conquering the markets all day long. And what does that mean? Taking high probability setups. Do they all work out? Not even close. Nothing wrong with that. What do you do over here, though? This is where the mental toughness comes in, right? What do you do over here if all of a sudden by Monday, right, at the end of this session, we're trading back above this bull flag over here, this descending channel? What happens if we get back above this resistance over there? Does that offer another opportunity, or are you so shell-shocked over here that you can't take it? Often what happens is you get that false burn over here. If you're interested in the trade and you're taking the technical breakout over here, I'm under the firm belief that we are going to see new all-time highs in gold in 2021. I got to follow what's going on technically over here and following right now. But by the way, the reason you don't hold on to your trade is because we may test much lower and for a prolonged period of time, right? For a prolonged period of time. You have to wait for the signal and act only on the signal. It's all about trading off of price, right? You can't just be like, well, Jordan thinks. Never first of all take any type of investment because someone else thinks something. Jordan thinks gold's going to go to new all-time highs in 2021. Well, I'm going to jump in here, right? Well, that may happen, but we may test 1855. And if that doesn't hold, watch out. We could be testing the bottom of this channel over here, right? All of that could happen before gold makes its move, and you might not be able to hang in there. So do not do that ever. Always trade what's happening in front of you, right? Wait for the signal. Only take the signals. Know where your stop is as you get into the trade. Be comfortable taking those stops. If you need to be right all the time, you have no chance in doing this whatsoever. So that all being said, this is still green lighted over here. I'm gonna actually keep this green because if we come back over here and hold, you can see that we wicked down into that area of support. Was that bad stop placement, right? Let's look at that. Was that bad stop placement just below this support over here, below this trend line? Should it have been even lower? I don't think so. You know, if you start going that far away from your entry, all of a sudden your position size is getting really small, and it's not really. I don't think so at all. But you best review everything you do, especially mistakes, if you want to keep moving forward. Is that a mistake, getting stopped out of a trade? Absolutely not. Happens all the time. But if you're able to manage your risk, right? If you're risking 1% per trade, you better be advanced. If you're risking 0.5% per trade, is it a big deal? It's not even a thing. If you're and no one's complaining. This is me just using a teachable moment, right? But if you are too concerned about any individual trade, that means your risk management, your position size is totally off. It means you're well out of the game, because that's the first thing that needs to be correct. Your risk per trade and your position sizing need to be correct. And your position size is not static. It depends on where your stop loss is. Your position size is variable. That all being said, let's keep going over here. If you're here and now, right now, and you're happy to be here, please go ahead and smash that like button. Help this channel, help support my work. Do appreciate that. Let's move over. Let's keep going over here. Let me move over to silver just to check in over here. That's awesome. Silver has come back into that 26 level, right? Not giving any type of entry signal or possible here on a Friday. I wouldn't take a signal up here at entry on the excuse me. I wouldn't take an entry over here if we made a new higher high over here at $27 coming into that resistance. But this looks like, after testing that support of 26 and holding, that possibly next week that could be setting up. Let me just go ahead and just flag that and continue watching that. All right, what else? Bitcoin over here. So a lot of people are asking, I'm going to just talk about it briefly. A lot of either you're following the channel and you're following our work and you have a clear understanding of what's going on since day one, right? Because we've been there, our heartbeat on the market like nothing else, right? When I don't know, there's been 2 times during this year when I really did not know what was going to happen next. That was over here in this area over here. I drew a blue box. I was like, I don't know what happens next. I was very clear about that. And also over here, right over here. I'm fully positioned, but I have no idea what happens next, right? So where are we at? Listen, the video yesterday, thank you everyone who watched the video in the morning and then in the afternoon smash that like button. It really helped that video get the views it deserved. Really grateful for you for that. Thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. That video was important to be seen by a lot of people, and it got to be seen by a lot of people. That really helps set our mindset going forward. I want to build off that a little bit. Right now, the people are asking, I guess right now, well, I sold at 34,000. Should I be buying now? Well, the message has been very consistent, right? The message has been very consistent. The risk is to the upside. You need to be fully positioned for the whole cycle. The only thing that would change that was presented very well yesterday, right? That is, if we see something like this, where we're coming straight up here, if by the month from now we're trading at $100,000, well, then we might be seeing this double pump over here, this double wave over here, and we might, at that time we might be looking for a little bit of strategy 3, getting off on the sidelines a little bit, finding out a way to act. But until that is discussed and or talked about, it's you stay fully positioned, right? You have to be able to ride out 30% plus drawdowns at any time you enter the market. but the risk continues to be to the upside. If you're missing that by now that we're at 40,000, because that's been consistent. The only time that wasn't over here at 18,932, right? I took a little bit of off, but the pullback was only 16.5%. As soon as we retraced that, I got fully positioned back and then more and said that's it. The market just proved me wrong in the fact that the pullbacks are consistently shallower than they've been. For now on, I'm staying fully positioned. That's the message. It's consistent. It's up to you whether or not that you think maybe you are. Maybe you're a better trader than myself. Maybe you believe that you could trade in and out of Bitcoin and make more money that way. Great. Go for it. But guess what? You're buying back higher. Right? That's that. So we were looking at the Pi cycle yesterday on lookintobitcoin.com, and some of you were pointing out the R-Hold'll ratio, and you were and rightfully so. So listen, I'm interested, and of course I've understood what it is by reading what it is. If you look at the overview, it's right over here where it gets into the heart of what this is doing. I don't understand when it says versus the 1 to 2 years, because when you come to indicate it, like, it has to be exact. So I don't really understand exactly what's going on here with the calculations, but I didn't spend more than 15 seconds trying to figure it out, because I'm only interested in what's going on over here. This is how Jordan's brain works. I'm a visual guy. This is what I'm able to do. And basically this red line over here, right, which is the blue line is price, the red line is the indicator. When it gets up over here into this red zone over here, that tends to be in an area where the cycle peaks. Okay, so over here, when you look at over here, and we had this double wave, 1, 2. What this indicator is saying that over here, that was not the top of the cycle. How do you know that? You come back over here. This is when price is peaking out over there. Oh, sorry, right over. Where is it? Right over. Let me see what that price is. Hold on one second. I need to be exact. I always want to know exactly what I'm talking about. It's about $250, more or less. So over here, price is right over, bear with me, please. It's 2013, right over here. It's $150, right? That was the high at 807. It's right over here on this peak right here. Price is here. Right when price is here, price is right now here. And you could see that the R-Hold'll ratio is not yet in this red zone over here, showing that this cycle is ready and at its peak. And you could see on this second attempt up over here, when price is extended over here, the R-Hold'll ratio is overextended into that red zone, giving you the signal. It happened again in the last cycle. Now over here, that's not the R-Hold'll ratio. That's price. This is the R-Hold'll ratio. So that's something that you could watch for, right? That's just another tool in the basket. And that's that. What else do we want to look at over here? I want to look at Will's chart work over here. This is Will's workup over here using the log chart and then trend lines. Will obviously is been a constant member and important part of CTM here for a long time now. And I prefer using our work, right? Because that was the whole purpose of when this channel was launched in the very beginning. It was share as much information with people as possible, right? To lift up their game. Therefore, it becomes like this loop and cycle where they're contributing and I'm upping my game, and it continues to raise everyone together. We're seeing the fruits of that enormously, whether it's here in the chat. Like, the conversations that take place in the chat are super valuable, right? The comments that take place in the YouTube comments, and I do my best to monitor those. There's so much spam that it's ridiculous. I mean, last night I was with family and we're all together, and then like people are spamming all your comments and with these WhatsApp numbers. I had to take 10 minutes out to take care of that. I can't always be on top of it. If you ever see some people sharing a phone number in the comments, it's not me. I would never do that. I'm not soliciting you for any type of investment like that ever. If I have something to say to you, I'm going to say it to you over video over here live. All right. Be aware that my name is highlighted always. And if you see someone impersonating me, take a second there and report them, please. Because other people, sometimes, we don't want to see anyone get scammed, right? So over here, look at Will's work over here, and you could see that he's added these trend lines. It's different than this one over here. Now, last night, Will was working back and forth with me as he was doing all the work. And then this morning he sent in this version over here. But I do notice that you could see on this version over here, you're taking the low over here to this low. Again, I stand by CTM's work over here. Will's is different using the top over here. I like the angles. I'm going to share this chart with all of you in 1 second, and then this chart over here so that you guys will have it also. You guys and girls, right? People. Craziness. So anyway, right now, this is really helpful over here. I really like Will's chart work over here. I love what he did over here. I love the difference that he's looking at. And also, he's kind of got his target in a lot more reasonable area. When I say reasonable, is this all possible? All right. Are we looking at $663,000 Bitcoin in September? Are we looking at $264,000 Bitcoin in September? Let's see anyway, right? I'm going to be working and continued working off these. I want to make sure that you all have it. I will right now share these links. And then what I will do is I will start in certain videos that are discussing Bitcoin. And when this is used, I'll make sure to link these in the description below over here. You can see right now, according to Will's work over here, that we are into some resistance this morning, this trend line resistance. And it's very clear, right? He's got the body of the candle over here. There's when price tested that area of support again. And then it did again here before breaking, right? What happened over here? I mean, that's fuzzy, right? But he's got the line in the exact correct area. And you can see over here, it was respected again. Now, if we're rejected over here, that leads us to believe that we are experiencing something more like this, closer to cycle 2 and less like this double wave over here. If we break above, which I tend to believe is going to happen, above this area over here, and then we start coming in, depending on the trajectory, if it continues vertical, and the higher we go, like I said, if we get towards $100,000 in the next 30 days, using the trend line over here coming off the peak, right? You can see again, here it was tested as resistance, right? Over here again as resistance. It's a great line. You know, that's coming in right around, it looks like $80-something thousand. I can't really see. Oh, over here I can see better. It comes in right around, okay, if we're going straight up, that's close to 76,000. I'm going to ask Will to continually update us and put these blue lines over here to where price is currently, so we have those guides on those trend lines. But that's coming in somewhere around $76,000. Depending on how high and the trajectory that we come in, that's what will judge what we're going to do and how we're going to play it. But right now, it continues to be for myself that I believe the risk continues to be the upside. I'm continuing to hold fully positioned. Ethereum is pretty much matching Bitcoin in its trajectory. What is Bitcoin? What is Ethereum up? Like 70% since January, right? In the past 2 weeks, absolutely insane over here. I fully believe people are really asking a lot about Ethereum. People don't like when I say that Ethereum is highly speculative, unproven technology. That's what it is, but they're making progress, right? And I hope that it succeeds. Also, if you're interested in protocols, check out Cardano. Check out Brandon's work on Cardano. The channel is Crypto Trades and Tech. It will be by the end of today, along with Heath's Trade Talk, linked on the top of my channel over here. Again, just like I prefer CTM's work, both Brandon and Heath are CTM all day long. And I really support their work, and they are offering so much value. So where does that leave us with Ethereum? I believe the best exit, the best way to play Ethereum is going to be the same way that we're playing Bitcoin. It's all about Bitcoin, right? You guys were, this morning that it was mentioned about Raul Pal's thread, right? On Ethereum. Let me pull it up just so we can talk about it 1 second. I don't even know how I could find it over here. Just let me just give it 1 second, see if I can find his thread. Over here. All right. No. Could someone? Nah, you guys can't. Here we go. 1 second. I'm going to find it really quick. I don't know. I feel like he's maybe drinking too much rum or something lately, you know? Anyway, here we go. We got Raul talking about this is part of his GMI. I remember his GMI report on Bitcoin earlier in this year, which basically took all the information that Bitcoiners have put together over the last 12 years and summarized it without sourcing it using the same memes and everything. And then I don't know how much he charges for that report or anything like that, but that's nice. Listen, what he goes on to say, he's like basically that Bitcoin, right? I always talk about network effects, right? And I always say, listen, Ethereum has a lot of network effects, right? That's something that is powerful. He's basically talking about Metcalfe's law and that basically the move on Bitcoin is only coming from the network effects, the network value, Metcalfe's law, and the increasing adoption of it. And then he points out really quick that the same thing is exactly happening on Ethereum, but only a cycle later. So, right? Let me go ahead and actually post this thread so everyone can read it afterwards. All right, there's the thread. So you can follow along. You can read it after. I'm just summarizing really quick what he's saying. He also goes on to say, look, Ethereum is actually taking place faster than Bitcoin's growth, just one cycle behind. He says that the price structure is identical to Bitcoin. This is where I definitely want to throw in that it is very clear that not only Ethereum, but all other altcoins, they follow Bitcoin's 4-year cycle with a lag of about 6 months, right? It's 6 months after the halving that alts start to pump, including Ethereum, right? So, in my view, without Bitcoin, none of this would be happening here with not only, and he goes on to say, by the way, it's not just Ethereum, whether it's Chainlink or any other altcoin, the same thing is happening, and he attributes it over here to Metcalfe's law. Now, I contributed to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the rising tide that lifts all these boats. All of alt season, which I have been a proponent about, even though I'm not invested whatsoever in alts, is happening because of what's happening in Bitcoin, right? Nevertheless, that's all I really have to say about it. That's the mind. I don't know what's going on with Raul, with all the language. Something's going on over there. Pray for Raul, right? He's like attacking people on Twitter. I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's his treasury trade going against them. I don't know what it is, but I don't have respect for that. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right. So what else we got going on over there? We're going to open this up a little. Wow, there's a couple other things I wanted to look at over here. I wanted to look at what we were looking at over here. Let me move over to the trades we were looking at over here yesterday, just to review them. Over here. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, right? It is rising off of the broken resistance, holding as support. No actionable entry there for myself, right? Euro, Japanese yen. This one is now above the resistance. Now looking to actually flip this and resume off. Would you take this on a Friday? If we make the higher high right now, why London is still open. I stopped trading on Friday after New York comes to work. I would not be looking whatsoever to go ahead and enter over here on a Friday, ever. But nevertheless, watch and understand the price action, the break above the resistance, holding the support, and now looking to resume off. We were talking about Australian dollar, Japanese yen yesterday. I pointed out how it was in the bull flag, and it looked like it was a good trade. We breaking above that resistance. I have no trade on that. There's no entry on that for myself. But now that it's broken above the resistance, right? Even though like this is what I thought was going to happen, that out of the bull flag over here, that into right with the resistance right above it, that it would spike above. But now the entry is in play, but that entry is going to be a retest or a consolidation. That consolidation might not come back into the support. I hope it does. That's a beautiful conquering the markets all day long. It could look like another bull flag like this, but that would also lead to another entry for us. All right. So again, there's no trade over here, just playing out as we thought it would. That's all fine. That helps to understand that you're in the flow of the market. And then we see over here, again, this one, an actionable signal, right? During the London session over here. You saw over here, but that was during non-farm payroll as well. But what you see happening, right? The resistance over here that we were watching and watching into that trend line over there. And then do you remember how I added that other trend line to show you yesterday during the live stream? I added that, I cloned it and added that above trend line over there. That's where we spiked into. And I also said, listen, if it then closes red, and I showed you on another pair what that entry would, just go back and watch yesterday's live stream. That's where it was, but that's what it did. Is exactly what we planned to do. Is there an entry there? No, because of timing, but nevertheless, just reviewing what's going on, getting ready for the next time. Oh, sorry about that. What else are we looking at here this morning? We're going to open this up. Covered everything that I wanted to cover. We're going to open it up now and take a look at what's going on. Cardano, we'll take a look at Cardano and Chainlink really quick. Again, thank you, brother. Thank you. Let's take a look at this. Hold on one second. Let's take a look at the pound Japanese yen. Asking if this is a perfect example of a conquering the markets entry, right? So listen, this conquering the markets, by the way, is this move right into the support, right? Over here, we looked at this also pretty much, I think yesterday. These moves into the support, right? And then the resumption off, that's conquering the markets all day long. I don't see anything happening right now, except that price is extending upwards and looks like it's taking out this area of local resistance. It's a light level over here. If I push back on the chart and then I put my mouse where it is, there's nothing else really in play. It's light resistance. I'm keeping this trend line over here because if price comes into it, that should act as resistance going forward. But I don't see anything actionable right now on the pound Japanese yen. We forgot to look over, and just because I want to get in the habit of looking at it daily with you all, the FTSE 100, right? And you can see that it continues consolidating right here under that resistance, right? Nothing else to add or say about that, except that getting above that could open up a possible actionable entry over here. But right now, it's just respecting and being held off by that resistance. Looks super healthy consolidating under it, though. It really does look quite bullish over there. Authors Twins adding 2% of Ethereum is being locked for its network upgrade. I would like to know more about that. I would lean on Brandon for something like that. If Brandon, I don't know if he's even published yet. I'll check with him. And if he has, I'll make it known to everyone. But if not, I would like to be up to speed on what is continued going on with the upgrade of the Ethereum network, right? Because it is what? A highly speculative asset that's being built out, is not yet proven technology. I'm all about it. So I would really, so if you fully dig into Ethereum's lands, I want to learn, right? If there's a huge amount of value being delivered on that network. It's got massive upside. 100% warrior habits. I've been a proponent of this since day one. I've never said otherwise. I'm a huge believer. And not only that, I'm rooting for it. Completely rooting for it. I am not one of those people, even though Jordan's investment was into the trade that mattered, the trade of proven technology. Listen, I got 6 kids. I got to make sure I do the right thing over here. I had to go with the high probability trade, right? But I'm rooting for all crypto. If Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to eat the world, it doesn't care who's coming at it. If it's the superior technology, I shouldn't say superior technology. That's not compare. If it's the superior, what's the even word to use, right? Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I'm at a loss for words to say over there. Then it shouldn't be threatened by anything else. And I'm not threatened by Ethereum or any other crypto. They're not competing against Bitcoin, right? And I hope that I believe there's a huge future, a enormous future for many different tokens in the crypto space. Ethereum, obviously, I believe and hope is going to lead the protocol walls. Cardano is one to watch out for as well when you talk about that, right? Raul's not. There we go. And that's just, so Rich is adding on that. I'm catching up to your comments over here, but I'm having fun doing it. I hope you do. This is what happens on Fridays. Yeah, so Rich is saying Cardano has better technology. That all could be true, but Ethereum does have that first mover advantage, and it has all the developers building on top of it. So what does that mean to me, right? If you were interested in the space, I would have more of an allocation to Ethereum, right? But also an allocation to Cardano, right? and just in case it catches on. So those are my thoughts on that. Look, the thoughts about Tesla has come up a couple of times. Let's just address it really quick. So I'm just following what's going on here in the flow. The thoughts about Tesla is, by the way, Giles pointed out yesterday in the training session that 860 line. I didn't know why it was up there. That was before Tesla split. That was the resistance that was up there. Do I think that's the top? No, I think what's going on with Tesla. And again, the one asterisk I put out there when Tesla was added to the S&P 500, why that's normally an interim top for the stock, especially a large cap stock, is the fact that the Fed is printing. And I'm not like one of those guys who's like, this time is different. Yeah, eventually the bubble's going to pop, right? It's going to be orchestrated. It's going to pop when they have the digital dollar ready and they're ready to make that jump to their new planned system, right? But until then, they're going to do everything they can to keep this facade going. They got to keep the music playing. So, this year we're looking at a $315 billion of central bank QE liquidity being added monthly. The money's got to go somewhere. It's asset inflationary. You're seeing stocks continue to pump. So I would never try to call a top on Tesla. I think Tesla is an asymmetric bet. Either 10 or 20 years from now, Elon Musk is still the richest world in the man, and we're living on Mars, or Tesla's gone to zero. And both those things could happen. All right, what else are we looking at? Let me jump to real time. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what the flow is, right? How much have all central banks bomb printed? Bitcoin triple convergence, halving cycle, Fed money printing. That's what we're watching over there, right? That's true too. When I said the digital yuan's already launched, the Chinese were way ahead. Right, the U.S., or I shouldn't even say the U.S., the powers that be that run the Federal Reserve, they were busy defending the dollar and their current system. The Chinese working ahead at the future, and the Chinese are already in the process of launching the digital yuan. There could be a big flow into the digital into the yuan over these next couple of years. Although right now it looks like the Chinese over the past week have been actually weakening the yuan. So that's a moving picture. What else are we looking at? Some also say that DOT is a better than Ether. DOT is another one that is, again, highly speculative, but very interesting in the space. Absolutely. We're looking at $315 billion coming from the G10 alone. Yes. The ECB is printing almost as much as the Federal Reserve on a monthly basis. You saw that you should only measure Ethereum. Oh, let me just mention again. I mentioned, by the way, to everyone in the training session yesterday, let me mention to all of you, this comment brought it up to me. It just triggered it in my mind, right? And that is why I would not ever look to sell against Bitcoin even at the top of a cycle. What I will be looking to do, and the only reason I'm repeating this now is to keep reminding myself of it, to ingrain it in my mind and all of you as well, is that I will be looking to sell all altcoins. Now when I say all altcoins, any and all altcoins, but I'll be selective about which ones I pick. What I will do is be looking at the past cycle top and finding out whether or not it was large caps, mid caps, which ones I have the ability to sell against Bitcoin. And I will be looking to sell a basket of altcoins versus Bitcoin, because I do know that during that bear market phase that all alts get eaten by Bitcoin. So I will be looking to do that. I will not be looking to sell Bitcoin versus dollars at any time. So there's that. What else are we looking at? Yes, gold. We've already looked at gold. Gold dropped off, took out stops. There you go. It's taking out now that 1876 support. Thank you for that heads up over there. And that just goes to show why, after getting stopped out, and why you take your stop loss. But more importantly, even though a price was then starting to, you don't take the signal until you get the trigger. always. And if you're selling, that first sign that price is going to continue lower is if price makes a lower low than the previous price bar. If price is rising, you don't sell. Same thing on the upside. If you're looking to buy over here, if we wind up getting back above this trend line over here, the entry is not going to be until price makes a higher high, giving you that indication. Gold really now coming off pretty hard now, off 2.2%. And you can see over here, the 10-year continues to rise. What do I think of Tron Coin? I think that Justin Sun said it best, right? You know, Justin Sun said it best. So there's nothing else to say there. So it was Peter, what is it? What Bitcoin did? Peter McCormick was interviewing him and asked him, you know, and he said it best. That's what it is. Could I? Yeah. So Jordan, this deserves, I have it bookmarked on my Twitter feed. This is absolutely fire. But I haven't had the opportunity all week to really even watch the presentation. I only saw, so what Jack did is Jack is building on top of Bitcoin on another layer on the Lightning Network. And Jack has made it possible to send money anywhere in the world almost instantly for free, right? I watched him send it on his end on the app. He sent $10 over to Europe, right? It arrives like that fast. You know, and I saw the person receive it like that fast on their end. The UI, it looks awesome. It's absolutely amazing. Russell, I forget his last name, but the Pro Bowl football player who will be receiving half of his salary in Bitcoin is using the Strike app in order to do that. Jack is a pioneer. Jack is changing the world. And, you know, this just goes to show that, I mean, obviously the market spoke really quickly when when Bcash forked off of Bitcoin, you know, and the market spoke. But this just goes to show why, because it could all be done on top of Bitcoin, you know, and that is beautiful. I'm glad you brought that up, but in order to present it, you know, I need to really understand what he's doing, to watch all the demonstration videos, and then be able to talk about it further. But that's a summary of what Jack is doing. If you're not following Jack on Twitter, you should. He's changing the world. All right. Listen, I am not a tax expert. And if you have any tax questions, you should consult a tax professional. Here in the US, anytime you move dollars into Bitcoin, it is not a taxable event. Anytime you move money out of Bitcoin and or back into dollars and into other crypto, that is a taxable event. He's only 26. He's absolutely a giant. He's actually right there. It's Jack Mallers. Yeah, so as far as my exit strategy on Bitcoin, if you didn't watch yesterday's video that was uploaded, the most recent uploaded video, do watch that video. But listen, it's what will be happening this fall. I can't even imagine. It's, you know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, and right now I'm focused on what's the most important, and that's making sure that I myself and all of you are on the right side of this trade. And listen, some solid work has been done. Do you remember over here at 19,000? Do you remember when people thought we came too high too fast, right? Do you remember when I made sure that everyone was fully positioned, and then not only that, put everyone's eyes on 40,000 right over here before we broke out? I've done my best, and I will continue to do my best, staying focused on what's most important, and that's not the exit right now. That's not even close to it right now. The only thing, and that was presented to you yesterday, if we come really, really hard and really fast, right? If we start this vertical climb up and we come into one of these trend lines over there, I might then say, well, listen, it's very clear, in my opinion, that what is happening is we are seeing a double wave, right? And we could have a bigger than a 30% drawdown, and we'll have to position accordingly, at least make everyone aware so that they are, you know, mentally prepared for a bigger drawdown, right? So my goal is to make sure that during this bull market phase that we spent a lot of time preparing for, that people aren't left behind, and people get the most out of it. That's the focus right now. The focus then after will become on exiting, how that's done, what options are available, letting you decide, obviously, what's best for you. And then after that, the focus is going to become when to accumulate back into Bitcoin, which is pretty clear to myself, right? If you look over here at, by the way, stock to flow, I just look at the colors. The colors are pretty. I really like the colors, right? And I'm looking at the colors represent how many more months to the next Bitcoin halving. It's clear as day that the cycle low in the bear market, right? So I don't have to think to myself, are we going to see an 85% drawdown this cycle? By the way, the first cycle saw an 85% drawdown in the bear market. The second cycle saw an 84% drawdown. So I've always thrown out there, 80, 85%. This one, but it's, maybe it's not. Maybe it's 50, 60%. It doesn't matter. What matters is this. It's very clear that this dark green dot over here, which is 15 months to the next halving, that's where the cycle low is in the bear market. That's where it's going to be time to start making sure you're fully positioned back in, dollar cost averaging. Bear markets are for dollar cost averaging, right? Make sure that you are fully positioned in to ride the cycle again. So that's not now though. Right now is making sure everyone gets the most out of this bull market. And that's where my focus is. That's where your focus should be. But as we get closer and it's time, or as just like yesterday, remember when price started climbing, like moving vertically up, and then like I could sense that people were like, wow, this is coming too far too fast, and they were going to be exiting, right? That's why yesterday I showed you price action on Bitcoin and showed you how it could just make 50% a month returns month over month, right? Just to show you what has happened in the past, that this might look like it's vertical, but this could just keep going vertical. And then to give you that perspective, if it comes up really hard and fast like here, well, then maybe we have to worry about a bigger drawdown, or maybe we're going to see something like this. That's my focus, is keeping you focused on what matters. Do I look? The Bitcoin trade is an investment for the cycle. I was fully positioned in, just around 9,000. I have added to the position, but I held through a liquidity crisis to 3,800. Right? I don't think that we ever broke down over here of this trend line. And by the way, these trend lines now, just really quick before I answer that. Right now, if you look at a 30% drawdown from where we are, right? Okay, we're getting closer. All right, so 30% drawdown. Soon enough, I'm going to go ahead and just whiten out these lines, just make them so we can't see them anymore, because they'll no longer be in play. We don't need to focus in on them, but we still do for a while. All right, once this is above a 30% drawdown, at that point, I'll start doing that. That's not yet. I held Bitcoin through a massive 60% drawdown over here to 3,800, and then got to add at 42 and 48. My stop on Bitcoin is zero, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. Should that be what you do? Only if you understand Bitcoin as I do, right? I remember you saying, right, 19 seemed normal, when some was wondering if his 18-year was achievable. That's interesting, Jeffrey. What I want to just point out right now was, does 40,000 seem normal to you right now? It does to me, right? So let's look at that over there. NVT indicator. Yes. So NVT, I think am I wrong about saying that's on glass nodes? Is the NVT on glass nodes? I presented work all the way on 2018, when also to know, using the NVT, when was the cycle bottom. I think that for me right now going forward, this is much easier for me, right? Rather than consulting what's going on with the NVT. I always go with the simplest solution. I always think is the most elegant. That's how things work for me. This is why I focus on this now. But thank you for that heads up. You know, we wanted to look at platinum, right? Kips has been all over. Not only platinum, palladium, nickel, right? Let's take a look over here. You said platinum. I thought you said a 10-year chart. Anyway, looking at this now, all I could think of, and I told you about that, was my worst missed opportunity. This channel over here, it was all very clear, and as we were towards the bottom support, it's missed. But look at this. This is actually interesting over here, coming back into this area right now, coming back into this area over here of what is further support building. It was resistance tested once already. You could see this angle over here right now. This is interesting. It's pretty steep. It's pretty steep, which means that, you know, once you get to like a parabolic angle, very bullish until that breaks, then price should from there consolidate sideways and or move down. But hold on one second. Let me just fix this really quick, and then we're good to go. So this could be offering opportunity coming next week. Let me take a look at what's going on across the board over here. Also with palladium, I want to take a look at copper. So that's broken down outside of that channel support over there. Not nice. Copper looks very similar over here, coming back in to test that bit of local resistance. That could be something that would be very interesting next week. And then nickel is off a little bit today. Again, rejected by that resistance area. Interesting, right? So what does that mean? And you could see this little bit of local support it's coming into right now, right? This needs to be just a little bit darker. Right over there. Let's see. Scott, what is that? What question are they asking? We could answer it right now for everyone, so they stop asking it right now. Various, I mean, listen, those that everyone gets, you know, that's beautiful thought of yours. You have a generous heart. It's always been a lifelong dream of mine, obviously, to start a self-funding charity that takes care of the poorest of the poor. I would love to do it. Dan, sometimes, not really all the time. But, you know, look, we don't need to go through this now, but it's very clearly that correlation works sometimes and doesn't work at other times. One time that it was really evident that it was not working was back in January of last year. If you go to January here, as the DX was rising very strongly here, the dollar was stronger than everything into 100 between January and February. Gold was also rising during that period and stronger, right? So over there, you have over here, right here at the beginning of the year, you could see into that period, gold was way stronger than the dollar, rising with that strong dollar. You could also look over here as the dollar has been weak, right? All this time, gold has been backing off as well. So here's the dollar during that period, very weak. So careful on that correlation. It works sometimes, but not all the time. I'm not trying to point that, just trying to point out what is. That's all. Beautiful. Awesome, strawberry jam. Oh, we lost you a little bit right there. Hold on one second. Let me get this back. All right. What do we got going on today? Let's take a look. Let me see what else is going on. Jordan, will you enter back in for the next halving? 100 million %. 100 million %. Of course. Of course. The question will be, anyway, I can't talk about the exit until it's the exit. The only thing I could say is that I do believe that we're going to see a bear market phase. There are those that are calling already for this being a super cycle. That's right, Zen. Thank you for that, Zen. Thank you. That's beautiful, Zen. There are those calling for this being a super cycle. For sure, we're going to see at the top over here A lot of people saying Bitcoin's going to $1 million, just like in last cycle. A lot of people will ride down Bitcoin during the whole bear market. Maybe you're going to want to do that simply because you don't want to give up your Bitcoin. We'll talk about all that as we get there, right? Oh, that's not happening ever, Scott. Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Scott. That's okay. Those people are weeded out quickly. Listen, you're never gonna be successful listening to other people's advice and taking trades off that. Other people could actually point you in the right direction, but unless you understand the trade and why you're taking it, and also understand how to manage a trade, your risk going into the trade, you will only lose money. There's no question about that. So if you don't know what's going on with gold, there's a video uploaded on the channel 2 days ago on the gold trade over there. Go watch that trade, and then you should enter it. We talked about even where the stop loss should be. So, right, those stops have been taken out. I'm not going to tell you when to enter or exit a trade ever. All right. So what else are we looking at? Kips's wisdom. We need a section just on Kips's wisdom. But Kips is repeated over here. Pay attention to markets that stand up despite a strong dollar. Dollar is currently, well, I don't want to say the dollar's strong, but yes, that's all true. Beautiful, Kips. We love to hear that. All right, what else are we looking at over here? Sorry to go to real time. The session is strange today. The flow is weird, right? PLL with lithium. I think it was Kamith who went ahead and tweeted earlier this week. We shared that he was eyeing lithium, Kips's nickel. He's following Kips's comments over here and making sure he's on the right side of the trade. But yeah, this is because of these metals are used in electric EV batteries, and there's going to be a huge push towards them. California and another state have both by, I think it's 2035, made all gasoline combustion cars no longer able to be produced. It's a big move over here. I think that this is a great thing to research further and to see if that's something that you're interested in. XRP, right? This channel probably saved a lot of people a lot of money. That's all I could say when it came to XRP, making sure everyone understood that they were investing in a token that was being sold by the company Ripple to retail traders in order to fund their company. Ripple has been very clear about what the use case for XRP is. The use case, the utility for XRP is to fund the company Ripple, right? So what else are we looking at? Bitcoin pumping, 42K now knocked out, right? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We love it. Massachusetts, thank you, Nate. Massachusetts is the other, that's going to be followed by more and more states, especially now as Biden's about to take office. And you're going to see the Democrats controlling both houses, the Senate and the House. I believe we're going to see a huge green energy push. When I say green, I don't even know what that means. Which causes more carbon, by the way? An electric vehicle or a vehicle running on gasoline? Have you ever thought about that? Do you know the answer to that? Right? It's the electric vehicle, right? That uses more carbon producing that battery. Interesting, but either which way, that's what's happening, right? Did you start as an FX trader or did you have equity experience? So yeah, Dean, Liz, it was the stock market that first attracted me to the markets. That was in 1999 during all that mania, and that's what really got me involved in the markets itself. It wasn't into 2003 that I only traded FX currency markets, with the exception of also trading the E-mini futures at that time, right? And that was only on the ES. So yeah, it was the stock markets that got me attracted to the markets. But then I understood that the better market, the more efficient market was foreign exchange. And that is what led me eventually also to Bitcoin and crypto. But the FX, the currency markets, whether or not you trade commodities, whether or not you trade stocks, whether or not you're focused in on altcoins, I believe it, is the best place to get the best education. Yeah, you could. I mean, the internet is this amazing thing though, David, where you could do you have questions and you just ask them into that search bar, and then you could do research and find out answer to any question you have. It's pretty. Nah, that's where you got to go look and do your research. But that's the truth. Copper, by the way, is also something to play about that, right? And the reason B is because our electric grid is ancient in the U.S. The electric grid is absolutely horrific, and if it's going to be able to handle this move to EVs, it's going to need to be upgraded and improved. There's going to be a huge demand for copper over there. Absolutely, brother. Thank you. This king this live stream is open to everyone. This is what we share here right now is open to everyone. Our live streams, anything on the channel that's public is public on the channel. Obviously the training sessions those are all only for Conquering the Markets members. The course it costs next to nothing. The valuable is absolutely phenomenal. So there's not much else to say about that. Silver, let's take a look at silver getting slammed here, down 4%. It was down 5% over here. But listen, just the only thing to say about silver right now is it's coming in and testing 26 over here. You could see all these stops we're taking out. If you want to understand what's happening here right now, you should go check out Trade Talk. Check out Heath's channel on Trade Talk where he talks about this. I forget the terminology he uses here, but do focus in on that. But what you're seeing is a bunch of stops taken out above the support over here. You have to watch what happens on the daily chart. If price closes below 26 on the daily, then this support has been broken. And then you will watch to see what happens on the retest. If that's confirmed and then resume off of it, then we'll be looking for lower lows here on silver. But there's a lot of trading left in the session, and you don't know right now as it's at the support level whether it's going to close above or below. Here's one instance over here where you could see price spiked below the 26 area of support and then wicked back above it. So right now you're just seeing stops taken out that were placed too close to the support level. Yeah. Whoa. Right. That depends, Joe. I mean, it looks like for those that are making over $1 million a year, the capital gains is going up to 40%, right? So the question is, well, that doesn't make a difference, right? If you then if you're trading in and out, you're already paying 37% tax. Then what does it mean if you have to pay 40% on capital gains? But normally you don't. Normally you're paying significantly less on capital gains. So the question is it worth it, since you don't really need the cash, to wait until eventually that capital gains is then put back, towards 20% or 15%, whatever it might be? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. The course is gold without the pullbacks. That's beautiful. Yeah, and that's also beautiful here to see Bitcoin at $42,000 over here. Yeah. So I had also, right, just on the video even that I put out right before the new year, I did the back-to-back videos, right, where I got to focus in my passions over there on Bitcoin on the channel the last 2 days going into the new year. And right, I had put out at 40,500 I would be looking for the pullback. And then I also did say, even though that's where we peaked out yesterday, I then on Twitter mentioned that I am no longer looking for that personally, that I'm not. right? And I'm looking much higher. So again, you have to watch out what's happening over here. We're into that bit of right over here, and that's where Heath is looking at the right spot, right? That trend line, right? So there is the possibility that we get rejected right into this resistance here right now. If we break above it, I'm going to be looking much higher. Oh, these two links, let me share them with you. I haven't even shared them with you. And I want to make sure to get Will's workout there. And then I will also make sure to start including them regularly. The Hang Seng, Will. Oh, there's Will. All I could say about the Hang Seng was all the way back in my youth. That was the best market I ever traded. The fastest moving market I've ever seen in my life. And trading it was, and if you're an active trader, fast moving markets are the easiest to trade. I haven't looked at the Hang Seng in probably about 17 years. Let's take a look though. Let's see. The January 2018 peak to January 2000 on the daily chart. Let's take a look. So over here is the January. And then you said that also into the January 2000 over here. Are you looking at that huge breakout over here? What's the resistance above, right? We're coming into some pretty strong resistance right over here right now. You see it? See where my mouse is? So careful, coming right into some resistance right now. That's after that trend line break. So this is, Will, by the way, probably a place to look, right? As you come into this area of resistance right now to take some profit, maybe even get all the way out and see if we get a retest, or if you break back above it to reestablish a position above it. You have, I would say, right around this area over here, 29,000, the next bit of resistance above it. But you are into some pretty strong resistance. We're coming into pretty strong resistance right now. So just heads up. All right. Check the links. The links I sent were no good. That's just trading view. All right. So thanks. Thanks for the heads up. I have to go ahead and upload these to like post images and then share them with you. But I will make sure. That is done very soon, and that everyone will have access to that. So thanks for that heads up. I didn't realize that. No, I do not, George. No, I do not ever. I stay away from exotics. So what else are we looking at this morning, this afternoon? The link shared, they're not working links. I'm going to go ahead and I will make sure these are uploaded correctly so that you could have access to Will's work over here, showing Bitcoin with the trend lines on the log scale, and then the closer view of this chart right over here, looking at this area over here. And I believe Will will be just updating us regularly. Will also, if we could get, the trend lines into blue like you have over here, those are all also very helpful. Thanks for your work. Thank you for your work. What else are we looking at over here? I think what we're going to do, hold on. Yeah, watch what happens on silver on the daily. We just looked at that and discussed that right now. This could be offering nice opportunity. If 26 holds, resuming off of that, that's beautiful area to lean into. If it doesn't, obviously we're looking for a bigger pullback, right? No one should be in either silver or gold right at the moment, because if you took this trade over here off of 26 right now, into the resistance, right? You either took a small bit of profit or no profit. I would have taken no profit at all looking for that trade to ride. But now if you come back, as you came into that first resistance, your stop is back at break even. That you're stopped out at break even, and you should only be neutral for sure. So what else? If Ethereum, terribly tough, man. No spamming, all right, brother? So there we go on that. All right. So what I want to share with you though is something very special to my heart. People have said, and thank you for that. I know that people are grateful for what we do over here. Obviously, you all share that with me repeatedly all the time. I know that's genuine. But something that is close to my heart, I do believe that, like in relationships, that's what should be done, right? You share with what's important to you. Like I said before, my best friend, childhood, lifelong friend, who went ahead. Let me just play this really quick. My friend who's gone ahead and did that intro track for us, which I love. It's added so much to this channel. It's added so much of our personality, in those 7 seconds, those beats that he made to us. It's part of conquering the markets, right? It's who we are, and it's just been beautiful. And he went ahead and I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it right now. I'm gonna send you the link as I watch it. And he created a couple of minute track or 90-second track, building off of those beats over there, adding some video footage over there. Listen, I ask you to please show a little bit of love from our community over there. Brett has a channel that has some beautiful artwork on it, some beautiful tracks, but they're like intelligent tracks talking about society, what's happening over there. After watching the video, right? First of all, please, on the Conquering the Markets video, if you want to mention anything about CTM in the comments, by all means. If you want to go ahead and watch any of his other tracks, let's not spam Conquering the Markets at all. Only show love, right? That's what we do. We bring the positivity, we bring the light. But if you want to go ahead and show a little bit of extra love today, watch another track and see what you think. And if you like it, definitely smash that like button. Definitely show love that way. I'm going to go ahead here as we get off. I'm going to go ahead, instead of playing our normal exit, I'm going to go ahead and share that link with you and just say thank you to him for everything that he has done for me and for us with our intro video. So I leave you with that today instead of our outro. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. I'm going to wish you all a beautiful weekend. I will talk to you. Monday, there will be no live stream. Monday, we will have no live stream. So that means for sure on Sunday with you, on Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, or Sunday evening, I will produce for you a long, nice update video of what we're looking at, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, some altcoins, the markets in general. We'll check in what happened with silver at the close today. I'll make sure that since I can't be there with you on Monday, that I definitely touch base with you on Sunday and make sure that we're all mentally prepared for the week ahead. Thank you, everyone, for sharing this time here together. Listen, if you're new here, I'm glad you're here with us, and I'll talk to you all soon. Here again is that link. Please do watch that track. And everyone, I'll talk to you later.